right, Tweenies o'clock. All right, welcome to Tweenies Spot show here on TV Sapientia. My name is Omar. You're very sweet on radio and TV. Every other time we here on Tweenies Spot show, we get to talk to teenagers. It's actually that program we've made specifically for teenagers, children between the ages of 11, 12 to young adults of 20, 21, 22. We catch them young. We discuss issues that reflect on their lives. And today on set with me, I've got with me Victor Mirak from Personal School of Learning, right?
Yes,
and of course, Emily Favor, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And please introduce yourself.
All right, Favor Emily, and I'm the co-founder for Business Youth Consult.
Okay. Welcome to Tweenies Spot show.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will start immediately with the conversation. I think during this week, a video trended online. And in this particular video, the school is not in Nigeria, obviously. It's one of the schools in abroad, all right? But the thing that is so specific about this video is that the teacher was actually trying to discipline the students who came to school with a phone, okay? And while both of them were dragging the particular phone, all of a sudden, both of them started fighting. But in the course of fighting, I don't even understand what the teacher was wearing, even though I don't want to talk about what the teacher was wearing. It's a topic for another day. Honestly, it's a topic for another day. Because I don't understand why a teacher would dress like that. And while I was analyzing that particular video, a lot of things, we would have played that video if not for... it's
nudity.
Yes. We would have played that video, but if not for that part of the teacher, that was why I said I don't understand what she's wearing. But we're looking at discipline. How best can we discipline our teenagers? Because if you looked at that video, you find out that this young girl, she was insisting that she felt insulted, okay? Because the teacher was insisting that she's going to take the phone from her. This young girl who is in school felt insulted. Now, how best can we discipline our teenagers? First of all, let's start with what is discipline? Let me come to you, Victor.
Thank you very much, Omar. First of all, is that it's not right for a student to say that the teacher is insulting her. That's why I don't understand over there. How can you, even I was discussing with Mr. Emily, and I said, if we check the organogram of the school, you as a student, I think you are maybe second to the last or third to the last.
If not the least in the organogram.
So the teacher has the right to caution you. So I watched the video. Anyway, and then I was now looking at the girl that is challenging.
Teacher.
I mean, the way I was just from the outside, I was tempted to slap her from the phone. As in, slap her. Why can you be talking to a teacher like that? Anyways, it depends on what they call discipline. But what I know about discipline
within the Nigerian African context. That is what we are looking at.
Better.
Good.
Now, discipline within African circle or Nigerian circle is putting up a kind of measures on a particular behavior which is against rules.
Okay.
So when a student does something or somebody does something, there are measures that are stipulated that should be given to the person for deviating from the rule.
Okay.
So that particular measure that have been stipulated to be given to someone for deviating in a rule is what we look at as discipline.
All right. So, let me come to you, Favor.
All right.
Why should there be rules and regulations guiding the conduct and activities of students in a school? Because we are looking at schools now.
Okay.
Why should there be rules and regulations guiding the conduct of students in a school?
Okay. The school is an equally an organization. All right. And every organization should have one, a system,
okay,
two, a structure, and two, a culture. And now, culture is not something you pen down as rules and regulations, but what you live by.
Yes.
Okay, so when you live by a particular thing for a very long time, it becomes a culture.
Okay.
So sometimes the culture in a school or in a system can contradict what is written. So let's say it's written that students should come to school by 8, and this is a disciplinary measure. And over a long period of time, this disciplinary measure does not take effect. It can give birth to a culture whereby everybody chooses to come late.
Okay.
Now, in that school, if something like that had happened before and nothing was done about it, it builds a culture in the students that they can do anything and get away with it.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
So, not minding what the written rules says, but what the implementation or what implementation has been done over a long period of time. Because I want to believe that's not the first time. Someone must have talked rashly at a teacher, and probably the students might just casual about it and make it a fun in class. The teacher goes off, all right? So it starts from somewhere, then progressing to a point where a student would have to raise a hand on a teacher. Something must have given birth to that confidence. Not just, that's not what just transacted there.
It didn't just start there. It didn't just start there.
That's just my point.
It didn't just start there.
For her to gather such temerity, to raise her hand. Because
she actually wanted to slap the teacher.
No, she slapped, not that. Because the teacher defended herself. Now, if it was the teacher that first slapped her, and then she happens to retaliate, it's a different ballgame. But she was the one that went first. Which means she has been nursing this and cooking this, looking for an opportunity to execute. And that opportunity called for that day.
Now, as trainers, both of you, you go to schools, you train different schools, you meet different teachers, you meet different students. What's your analysis of that child's behavior in that video?
Rude, stupid. She is stupid because she lacks home training.
So, you know, we've looked at the problem. We're also looking at the solution. Because, just like you said, when people do something for a very long time, it looks as if it becomes a culture. Not minding the written codes, rules, and regulations. And we don't want that culture. That is why we're talking about discipline.
Sure.
So, a teenager who is watching us right now, why should that teenager allow him or herself to be disciplined by a teacher?
All right. First is, I said in the last time I was in that in the house, I am in charge of my child. But I must let my child know that in school, the teacher
is in charge. Okay.
So when that enters the head of my child or the head of students, they will know that once they enter that gate called school gate, that the next parents they are seeing are the teachers.
Okay.
The tutor. So that is the mindset that's supposed to be in every child. Once you have that kind of mindset, and it is being said to you, there's something I told you the last time. It is not just writing something that matters. It is re-emphasizing on things that makes it create picture and pattern.
So are you now blaming parents? Are you putting it up on parents? Because you know some parents actually go the long way to ensure that these kids are told the right things. Because I believe a parent will always, the fact that a parent takes a child to school, puts that person in school, shows that I'm actually handing my child over to you.
Sure.
So are you kind of blaming parents?
It's a two-way thing.
Okay.
The parents have their own role to play. They still have their own role to play. Now, the parents' own is infusing that in the child.
Okay.
Then the school's own is to re-emphasize this to them.
Okay.
Because if this is re-emphasized, more of like a creed, a child knows that this is what is obtainable. It is being announced in school, not only written, and people that are defiant to it have seen what happened to them. So it enters your consciousness and your subconsciousness that you can't do such a thing here and go scot-free. So nothing that will make a child to actually go like that. Like I told you about my former school and the rules the man placed there. That built a pattern and a sense in us. That even while you are sleeping, you are seeing that man, you are seeing everything, and then you get sense. So I would say that from school's part, it should be re-emphasizing. And when issues like that happens, the next question is, how did they treat it?
Okay.
Because let's take, for instance, a child of a wealthy person, in quotes, happens to do something. You know, there's a way you used to play game behind, because it's a well-known person. If this person removes money from this school now, the school will crumble, something like that. And then they will not play games because of favoritism. But if no matter who you are, the school brings you out and do the same thing they did to KK to Kafo, you discover that there will be nothing like favoritism here.
Okay.
I know that once I mess up, once I fell off from these rules and these regulations stipulated in this school, I will receive the commensurate punishment for that. So with that, everybody respects themselves.
Okay, let's come to you.
Okay.
He talked about commensurate punishment.
Okay.
So, if that video was heart-wrenching.
I mean, as in,
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine it. And I was just wondering, is it even possible anywhere in Nigeria that a student will raise his or her hand on a teacher?
Yes,
like,
sir.
have
Yes,
you
sir.
heard something like that before?
yeah, so
Okay.
let's continue.
What are commensurate punishments for
Okay.
students, for teenagers? Because something I realized about some teenagers is that they don't like being disciplined. They don't like being told what to do. But I'm just wondering, anyway, what are commensurate
Okay.
punishments?
I know this generation is quite different from the generation we came from.
Yeah, so
Okay, so
Very different.
yeah.
And I'm wondering where they're headed.
Yeah.
I'm actually wondering where they're headed.
Sometimes I wonder the same too, because this Gen Z in quotes, all right, they act by a different rule.
Okay.
They act by a different influence.
Okay.
All right. So probably sometimes when you stipulate some things, they feel like you don't understand. You need to come into our world and understand.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
Yes, we are
Okay.
old school.
Okay.
Yeah, we are old school,
Uh-huh.
and then they are the
The new school, the modern
Yes.
yeah.
school.
So
They are trending.
and sometimes there are okay. Now when you look at the social media, all right, and how it influences these generations, for our parents that's just stuck with probably a particular social media, all right, and for the mid range. Okay, they have a particular one. Probably the enlightened have then the Gen Z. We know where we see them, where they dance, showcase a couple of things, and the rest of that.
Yes.
So when we are trying to incorporate a punishment or disciplinary measures, all right, I think it starts with understanding the age bracket of the people we are dealing with.
Okay.
All right, so what worked in the past might not work for them now. Sure. Now, for example, now in our own time, corporal punishment was obvious. You'll be flogged, you'll be caned. Yes, it should still apply. Just that they have to now understand that this is why this is being done to you.
Okay.
Okay, and now there are different punishments. Let's say now, if someone is addicted or if someone has built his life around an Android phone, for example, and a simple withdrawal of that can actually make the person calm down.
Oh, okay.
All right. So let's say the use of denials and rewards can actually be a good punishment. All right.
Okay.
So this is what will be denied of you should social action take place. Okay. And then also rewarding people that have actually been living right. Now, because it's one thing when you catch people stealing, and it's one thing when you praise the person who has not been stealing
Yes.
and reward the person. So now, is there a proper reward system
Okay.
for the people who have been living right? Okay. Now, when you look at the generation now, sometimes when people go to a certain kind of hustle in quotes, they tell you people who have been doing it right, what has been the result they've made. So the judging by the left and right, sometimes people choose to go by the left because it's quicker. So the same thing happens in a school system. How often does the school reward people who go on competition, who live by the books, who live right, how do they promote well-being and good living?
Okay.
And obedience to the laws and regulations, all right? Because always being on the punishing side, they will feel like, what's the worst thing that will happen? I'll be punished.
Right.
What's the worst thing that will happen?
Right.
I'll be flogged. What's the worst thing that will happen? I'll be suspended. And the suspension even makes them look like, guy, you're a matured guy. But on the part of the parents, they feel this ache and burden. Why will you be putting us through all of this? Now, the punishment should be directed at the students, not one that will have a ripple effect on the parents.
On the parents.
Because the parents, like you said, are living up to standard to ensure they have the best. All right. They must have probably had a little bit deficiency in the way they were raised in the family and all of that. The culture of the family is quite different, and that is the basic and the bedrock of every child.
Every child, yeah.
Yeah. So, but in the school, like he said, it's a different ball game. You've come into another system. this is our culture, this is how we do this. Okay, so the issues of being suspended, all right, probably might mean to call the students or probably to call the parents. So something has been happening, and because it has gotten out of our control, can they spend 2 weeks with you at home? So you help us correct this. Okay, so it's a kind of a rehabilitation center whereby they go back to their bedrock and get remolded in a way. All right, so the suspension is another thing, so that they don't leave.
Denial, suspension from school.
Yeah, so because you don't put two or different people from different cultural values, bring them into a place and expect them to behave the same way.
The same way, yeah.
So in order for them not to infiltrate and become a bad egg, all right, so send them home for some time. Let them stay. All right, so let's see what the influence at home will do to them. So when they come back and it becomes the same, just that these days I hardly hear that students or
We're suspended.
We suspend students or even expel. They feel like we are losing customers.
Exactly.
That's the point.
Exactly.
All right, so
That's my
Exactly.
point.
they want to have a good look, maintain their financial records, maintain their good and all of so, but they forget the fact that school was built first to build cultural values in children before the monetary value that comes from it.
True.
All right. So the highest, what they will do is that they build a kind of record that show we make our WAEC, we make our JAM. Students who graduate from here, they travel abroad. They have the same certifications and the same educational standard people have abroad and all of that. That is their concern. But I'm pleading on the schools to bring back that culture of raising a child. Okay, bringing back that culture that trains a child. All right, in a way the child should grow and should be, because once the student escapes the cultural values at home, he escapes into a school. If he escapes that of the school, he escapes into the society at large.
Exactly.
And the ripple effect will touch every single person.
Yes.
Everybody.
So family is the bedrock, yes, but if the family has failed, the school should at least. I remember a time when parents feel like our students, our children are giving us headache. They know a school that will send that child to.
And the child will calm down. And the child will calm down.
But
do
now
we
you
still,
haven't
do we
heard
still
such.
have such schools?
My challenge is that school are money or business conscious now than having
Is it
this
just-
moral
okay.
consciousness. For instance, if schools have a course that deals on morals, not our normal old modern moral instruction stuff
Where they
that
come
has
and
been
sing and
that
clap
has
and
been
pray
messed
and
up,
all of that.
have been messed up. If I still maintain there is a place of psychology. A place of psychology should be introduced in school, where a psychologist is keen to working on the minds of these students. It is not just only teaching them subjects, physics, maths, civic, and all the rest. When we teach those things only, we end up building students who are intelligent but not moral.
Yes. Yes.
So that particular aspect should be taken into cognizance, where specialists are trained on how to help these people build them in that area, so that you can blend the two. You get sense, you come notebook join.
I love that one. You get sense. You come
Notebook join.
That would be a very great
you
collab.
balance, and then when I see you, I'll be like, I want to shake you. Not when you have beauty without brain, beauty without common sense. Common sense zero. Yet you know book, you know the word mathematics. Once
But sincerely, let's try to say things from the eyes of the teenager. As a teenager right now, if you're faced with a teenager right now, talk to me now. If I'm being disciplined, why should I accept that discipline? Why should I accept it and know that it is for my own good?
The why, like I told you the last time, I said if I want to discipline you, I'll tell the reason why I'm disciplining you.
Okay.
That's why I can have a class of 100 students, for instance, because I have my rules. Once I enter the class, I will tell you 6 rules of Samirak. And these 6 rules are...
But do you know there are children that are naturally obstinate on their own? They've decided, if I'm growing up, I have such in my class, they've decided that they will be stubborn.
So they derive their ego by being stubborn.
Yes. So when you meet such kind of teenagers,
all right.
Because if you watch that video, that girl was challenging the teacher.
Very well.
And I think that's not the only video. We've seen that kind of video over and over again. But hopefully, I don't think we've started seeing it from Nigeria. I don't think so. But even though I've heard of situations,
It's just that
I've
your
heard.
Your Nigerian O was not covered.
I think
Because it was somebody that took time to be covering the whole thing.
to cover that thing and video that thing.
But what I'm trying to say, Nanisha, is this: when I give you those rules, I'll once you implement it, anything I'm doing, that's me for you. Anything I'm doing, I give you scriptural backup. I'll tell you why this thing happened, why I did this thing to you. Not because I hate you. I will always show that picture that I want the best for you.
Yeah.
And I will always tell you that I've left school more than 1 decade ago. So anything you see me do here is not for my own good. It is for your own good. If you see me pass sleepless nights to study, to come and teach you, it is because I want the best for you. And anytime I handle my strengths, I will definitely show you the outside world.
Okay.
I'll tell you, if you continue like this, if you get to university, see the disadvantages. All those things, I will make it clear to a child. That's why I said, I can have a class of 100 students, and I will set my rules, and still punish the people I will punish. If I send you out of the class, maybe say I send 50 out, by my next class, there will be 150. They will increase from 100 to 150. Why? They know that I have value that I'm dishing out. And they know that the reason why I punish them, I explained it to them. So as a teenager sitting before me, if I want to punish you, first, I give you biblical backup for it.
Okay.
Secondly, I'll give you societal impact of what you are doing.
Okay.
And then I will now show you the remedy to this is what I'm trying to help to curtail certain things, which will help you in the future. So when a child sees these things, a child will now know that of a truth, this thing is just to help. Like there's something that happened recently. Shortly, let me just tell you that. I punished a child.
Okay.
And she wasn't the only person I punished. I punished about 6 or 7 of them. This particular child went as far as trying to blackmail me that I did this, I did that. See. Do you know that I was in the staff room and I was called? Immediately I came to that scene. Immediately that other students, I'm talking of just one, knew that Samira was called because when about 8 to 10 of them followed me.
Wow.
They said, Samira, we will come there. We will come and tell the principal that what she's saying, we were there. When she wasn't the only one that was. If you see the way these people were defending me, and this principal was like watching all of them were saying the same thing. Samira did not do any bad thing. You were one first before he did all these things. So why will you come here? And the principal to himself was like, it's okay, you should not talk. Why I'm saying that is, I used to show the reason why I'm punishing you and give you real life implication of what you are doing. So what see me in this scene is seeing help for you, not because I hate you. I don't hate you. And I'll find a way to also smile with you or laugh with you maybe at the end of the day.
Okay, I think we are really out of time. Okay, so let me come to you.
Okay.
Finally, your final words. Why should a teenager accept to be disciplined?
Okay, they would have to understand that it's for their own good, all right? Sometimes when a tree is growing and you're pruning the tree, it comes with a lot of pain, okay? It comes with a lot of shading off of certain parts. But then at the end, it's for you to bear good fruits and serve the society better. So one is for their growth, for their well-being, all right? For sometimes I always tell people when success takes you to a place and you don't have the character to sustain it, it's a potential scandal.
True.
All right. So the increase in scandals we have in society is because of a bad foundation. So we are trying to help them build a proper foundation, so that when they rise up tomorrow, they won't have to be shaken off. All right. So we've seen people who did a couple of things, they achieved a wonderful results. Okay, probably best in work and all of that. Sometimes it becomes just a little bit of action or something like that, or probably a bad deed here and there that dents the good results. Someone graduated from a school and then the person was interviewed. What will you say? The person said it was my knowledge and my books also that helped me graduate. So the certificate was withdrawn because what school satisfies you is for discipline and character and learning. All right. So when either of this is missing, something is wrong. So that is why they have to accept this punishment. It's for their own good. Nobody hates them.
Sure.
The teacher does not hate them. It's out of love. All right. Just that sometimes the way they perceive it to be is that I'm
You're
hated.
they're hated and all
Like
that.
some children will start, as I'm talking, some children might be feeling like my parents hate me
Yeah.
because probably nothing I do is ever right in their eyes. But it's for their own good. They have to accept it. Now, they don't always have to understand it now, but with time.
In the future.
Definitely.
They have
Just
to
like every
understand.
one of us.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. I mean, like before we came on set, I said one of the challenge I have with this program is the time.
Timing.
It's so short. By the time you're getting into the program, it's already ended. Thank you so much, Victor Mirak from Personal School of Learning. He goes to schools, training them, right, and training the students as well. He has always advocated for psychologists in school,
Sure,
right?
sure.
Not just mathematics, English,
Academic mind therapist.
therapist, yes, an
Yeah.
academic mind therapist, and he actually believes that every child is intelligent, right?
Very well.
That there is something about every child that no child is dull, right?
No child is dull.
Good. We are still going to talk about that part. Thank you so much, Favor, for coming through on the program. Of course, we look forward to having more of you on Tweenies Spot Show. You've heard it from them. Whenever you're being disciplined as a teenager, as a young person, remember that it is for your own good. Your parents don't hate you. Your teachers, they don't hate you. Everything they are doing to you is to help you become a better individual. Thank you so much for joining us today on Tweenies Spot Show. I look forward to having you again on Tweenies Spot o'clock. Bye-bye.